currently where I am in the process. I am taking my 50/50 black Mod Podge pieces that have been painted, and I have put on them a coat of elephant to get me to this stage. And I got stuff all around. I am now at this point putting on some granite gray, doing just dry brushing. And I am not good at dry brushing. And if you are not good at dry brushing, this is the best way, I think, to learn to do dry brushing, because it's terrain and who cares? Especially because it's rock and you can kind of not mess up rock. So I'm just kind of doing my light passes here. Again, this is rock. Who cares? Just, you don't want to have just too much on there. Voila. That's not too bad. Can it be better? Absolutely. Will it be better? No, because I'm about to make it worse by doing it again. Calling that good. And something that I've noticed as I'm going through these is some of my ends, I really did not get a lot of texture or pattern or anything on them. So and if I did, then I probably filled it in with my elephant gray. But just double check your stuff. And make sure you get a little something on the ends of it, because you don't want it to look like the bottom here. You want it to look like it was a facing piece. Or I should say, I want it to look like it's a important piece that needs to have pattern on it and design. And yeah, I'm not being all that cautious, all that precious with these as I rotate it with my fingers and getting fingerprints on everything. I'm not going to sit here and dwell upon it. This isn't for a professional competition. This is just for me to enjoy on occasion. And I have found that there are some times where you need your dry brush to be a little wetter to get kind of what you're after. So, good indication. There you go. So, working my way through it. Now, how does this look compared to my original board? Well, let's go find out. All right, here I am with my original board, and here's a few pieces that I have gotten dry brushed. And as you can tell, color-wise, that's pretty close. Now, this does have a black wash on it and a clear coat sealer, so this will dull down a lot more. But for the most part, That's about right. And I say that considering that this was a lot of just lightened or darkened white or black paint. So color matching, this is pretty close. So everything has been dry brushed. Long, arduous process, but I've done it. We went with the elephant for the base of it, and then I just dry brushed granite gray. I think I've already talked about this before. Editing, who cares about that? It's not a real thing. So once all these were done, it was time to do the stairs. Stairs are basically the exact same thing. It's elephant all over the place. And then I did a dry brush on the flat surfaces pieces with the granite gray. It looked a lot cooler carving it up. And I had a picture in my brain, and it was like this. Reality just doesn't really do it justice. I liked the black. The black looked really good. But I'm also trying to tie things together. So the rock pieces that I'm doing here, I'm doing the same pattern, which is elephant gray, and then I'm putting in some pewter spots. So if you're seeing a little bit of lightness in there, a little bit of wetness right now because I'm actually putting it on there. That's what I'm doing. And then, and again, I'm just randomly just saying that rock, yeah. And then once that is all done, yeah, we'll just say that guy. Why not? I feel like I got enough rocks over here. I know I'm getting distracted while I'm telling you this. This one looks a little light on this side. There you go. And then once you're done, I'm going to go put pavement in there and have the darker rocks. I don't know if I'm going to do an all-over dry brush with the granite gray like I did on the walls, because I've already got a lot of that on there, and I don't want to screw up and put too much of this on there. And then I'm going to end up putting a wash on it like this. Current thought process, not going to do a black wash like these. I keeping with the green theme of Kellar's Keep that I've been doing. I think I'm going to do a green wash. You'll see when we get there. I'm still thinking about it, but you're going to see it in just like seconds. But do a green wash. That's going to turn all this with a green hue. That's going to fill in the cracks. It's going to fill in the cracks on this thing too. So while this is going to mash, it's also not going to. So once that's done, and I'm going to put a black wash on my floor pieces, I'm done with Kellar's Keep. This has taken me a long time. I started this in September. This is currently the beginning of May. I didn't think it was going to take me this long. Positive is it did not take me this long. It's not taking me as long to do the main floor and the walls, which took me a full year to do. So anyway, that's where I'm at. All right, the day's come for wash. I'm hoping I have enough. I should have enough. This is a full bottle. I've already done some things as it is. Basically, so what is a wash? A wash is, as it's been explained 1,000 times in 1,000 videos in 1,000 places, but only on one planet. That's weird. Wash is a simple little mix of generally really thinned down paint or just really dirty water paint. I'm using a recipe. Not the recipe, because that's moonshine there, John Boy, that I got from Black Magic Craft. It is half water, half Liquitex, and then a little splash of Jet Dry. And then basically I just added paint to flavor as you kind of want it. So that is that mix. His mixture is to use an acrylic ink. That's not what I did. I didn't have acrylic inks when I made them. I've gotten some now, but I mixed this stuff at that point because this was mixed up when I mixed up my black, and I mixed up my black when I did my initial first board. So I have been thinking about doing this since then. It's been a long trip. So basically what this is doing is I am taking any piece, grab a piece. I'm just taking a piece here, and I don't know if it matters. I like to get a wet brush because a thirsty brush will just hold on to whatever you're putting on it and keep it. And I'm just getting that and slopping it. Now the downside is I've already done the outside walkway pieces, and this is an inside walkway piece. And the problem is I like the way this looks. This looks really, really good. I like the color. I like the feel of it. I like how it sits into the recesses, as you can see there. Hopefully you can see there, or see there. So that's the gist of it. And so it's going to give it a little bit of a green look to it. These here are ones that I've already done. These are outside walkway pieces. And as you can see, that's what ended up happening to them. They got a little bit of green to them, which I like. I like that. It gives it a mossy feel, and it ties it into the rest of the green that's everywhere else. This one and these other little pieces I got sitting back in here, I went and put a little bit of a black wash on there on certain key things that I kind of want to call out, but I don't really want to overemphasize that either. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to be, what's the word there, Beavis? Oh yeah. Washing the dog, washing the dog. Now this particular piece I'm doing differently. Everything else like that I did previously, I did all 4 sides that I wanted to, and well, 5 sides. This one I'm going to do different because I got the broken edge here. It's going to take a little bit more of attention. So I'm going to let that sit, and then I'm going to come back to that one when the rest of that stuff is dry. Anyway, back at it. And here is the last one. And I am like barely touching the tip of this paintbrush into this wash because it is basically just water. So the paintbrush is just gonna suck it right up. And there you go, done. Those are gonna dry. They're gonna get a little glossy because of the jet dry that's in there. And we're good, we're good. Again, I'm saving this piece for later because that still needs time to dry. But as you can see, I was about here, somewhere around in there. That's how much little dips of wash that I've used. And which is good because the next thing I need to do is these stairway pieces and get them all washed up. So that will be the next thing I do, but I'm calling it quits for tonight because it's late and this all needs time to dry anyway so I can get it off of my workspace. It is wash day. I'm finally getting a black wash on these guys. I have put a green wash on my steps. So we're doing black wash on this. So as you can see, here is what it's looking like now, which that looks really good. And if you were doing this, you could leave it like that and it's fine. Put a clear coat on it. It'll look really good. But with a black wash, this is what we're doing. And again, my recipe is that 50-50 water and Liquitex matte medium without the stuff that's in it. And because of that, I'm putting a little bit of jet dry in there for the to give the flow. And then this is just your regular apple barrel black that was mixed into it. This is stuff that I had mixed up a long time ago. I'm just using it up. So here we go. Give it a little bit of a mix. And we're just doing a dip. And do your best to kind of even it out. Like so. Considerably darker. We'll do these far ones and then you'll get a better look at the close-up here. All right, I'm gonna scoop this just a little bit closer to the camera so all of those that are into this kind of thing can actually get their jollies off. These bigger rooms, I'm doing like a couple dips, maybe 3, just to try to get a good even coat all over everything. Not have too much in one spot. And then just hope that it all kind of just settles out in the wash. Trying to make sure I get my corners. There you go. Look at that. And then this is completely and utterly unnecessary, but I am going over my outside border strips here. This is just styrene. I have put paint on it, so that's got the same Kelly green, and then it's got a little bit of Admiral Blue, which really gave it a really good looking Castle Grayskull look, which was not my intention, but I did like it, so I kept it. Now I'm not using as much fluid on this. It's really just kind of a wet brush, and for the most part this is just giving it a little bit of a glossy coat. You don't want a whole lot on there because I've noticed that this stuff will just pool up and sit and just make little spots. So it's really just a wet brush because there's not a lot of texture for it to adhere onto. But there you go. That one is done. So here is an unpainted. So I'm going to be doing this one next, so you can see that texture on there. And right next to it is one that just got the wash applied to it. So you can see how much that's really bringing out all that detail. And if you don't really believe me, this is a dry one next to an unwashed. So your mileage may vary and do what you want. We could do any kind of color on here that you want, but I'm going to go with black. I like this as black. So I think it looks really good. And with that, everything has been painted and washed. So we're good. As you can see in this little pictures right here, basically how it's going to end up looking. There's a distinction between both the inside and the outside columns. Coloration still works. Transition with the stairs is good. In the minifigures, they look awesome in the world around it. So on to the next video where we have installing lights and finishing up this project.